Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop. And what do you do when you have little scraps of cake left over, but you don't want to mush them up into cake pops? Well, you make a really tiny cake. So I would say this is just under that 4-inch range, so it's pretty small, but we're going to just stack it and crumb coat it just like we would a regular cake. Now, I'm actually going to be utilizing this as part of my son's second birthday cake, and he is a huge fan of watermelon. So that's why it is a watermelon buttercream cake, which I'm going to allow him to eat himself. It's not quite a smash cake, but he's definitely in that stage where he wants something to be all his. So this is the perfect option. Now, whenever you're working with really small pieces, it's really hard to keep everything together, so that's why I have that skewer in there. Once we finish this part and we have that in the refrigerator for a little bit, we'll get rid of that skewer. By the way, today I'm using my favorite Italian meringue buttercream recipe. I've been getting a lot of comments recently on my American versus Italian meringue buttercream video, and honestly, I made that so long ago, and I feel like I should redo that to really show you the differences between American and meringue-based buttercreams, and I am going to be redoing that with my friend in the near future. I let that set in the fridge for about 15 minutes, really quick when it's such a small cake. I find that when I'm working on cakes late at night, things get cooled really quickly. So I will often use my torch just to heat up that spatula directly, nice and quick, just so I can get that buttercream a little bit smoother. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking a star tip, and this is a really small star tip. It's not your usual large ones that you would use on cupcakes, but it's kind of hard to tell the sizing of things. I feel like even if I say what the size of the cake is, it's still really hard to get that perception. So this is really tiny. Now I did that little thing in the beginning where I kind of mushed around that green color into my piping bag. I was hoping to get more of a streaky look, and usually that is what happens, but for some reason I'm not seeing a whole lot of that. So you may want to do a little bit more of that green coloring directly in the bag. Now what I'm doing is I am just squeezing and I'm kind of crisscrossing this pattern. Now when you want to release off at the very tip there, stop squeezing your piping bag. When I first started making cakes, for some reason, I would just keep squeezing and wonder why it didn't work. Now I'm going in with some classic swoops on top, and I am leaving it flat because I'm going to put those little sixlets on top of here. Now I should have added the sprinkles at this point, but for some reason I decided to add the sprinkles later on. You can choose to add them when you would like, but if you do want them all over those little swoops, highly suggest that you do it right at this point before you put your sixlets on. Also, if you don't know what sixlets are, they're little chocolates that have sometimes different flavorings as well on that candy shell. They're really yummy, and they're a great option, and I personally think they're better than just a gigantic candy sprinkle. And of course, if I just leave it like this, it's just going to look like a pink and green cake. So we've got to add on those seeds. And to make those seeds, I'm using a number 2 tip, and I'm just kind of squeezing a dot and then swiping up to create that little point. For all of the colors today, I just used regular gel food coloring. I started with the pink, then I added some green to make it green, and then I took it up and made it black with just a little bit of black food coloring. And there you have it, an adorable, tiny cake. The board that I have in my hand is a 4-inch board. So this cake is pretty tiny, though I imagine it could still probably feed about 2 to 3 people. All right, now let's get into the pricing of this cake. So honestly, I probably wouldn't offer this as a custom order, but if somebody was really begging me for it, I would charge that amount because it takes still that amount of work. This is probably better as a stock order because if you have leftovers, you can do them all at once. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading weekly, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye!